Everyone, I hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome to another episode of Platform App Builder Certification Series. So today what we're going to talk about, we're going to look at cases, case escalation, and auto assignment of the cases, right? So think about a scenario, right? When a customer logs a case, right? Using the Service Cloud platform. So obviously, in some scenarios, the case get created, but no one picks up the case for whatever reason, right? Because they're too busy, they're bombarded with, because the service team is too busy with other cases. So think about a scenario, right? When you wanted to have a kind of automated process, right? When a customer logs a case, it goes to the queue, right? Whichever queue it is, right? And then it stays in the queue, and the members belonging to that queue can pick up the case and work on it, right? And then what happens, for whatever reason, if the case stays in the queue for a longer time, it can get escalated to another person or another queue, right? Maybe a superior team queue or whatever, right? So we're going to look at those kind of things, and we're going to also look at auto assignment. Like when the case gets created, that customer get emailed, automatic email saying, look, we've received your case and thank you for that, and we'll contact you shortly, whatever, right? So we're gonna look at that today, right? That's the agenda for today. Nice and easy, nothing fancy here, right? So cool, let's get started. The first thing first, right? You know how to create a case, right? I've talked about creating a case, and as usual, my opening statement before I start working on any hands-on, right? You need to register for an org first, right? I know that you might say that I'm repeating the same, but I just wanted to insist, right? Please do hands-on. When you look at my video, please spend time, pause the video and do hands-on, right? It's very important you understand what you're doing, right? And please do not try on customer sandbox. That's not a good idea to do that. If you wanted to practice register an org, it's nice and easy, right? I've talked about it in my first video, right? Please have a look at it if you haven't watched it. So please follow along if you are following along. If you haven't, if this is the first time you're watching my video, I would highly encourage you to please check out my previous video, because it's a continuation from the previous video, right? Cool. All right, let's dive in. So the first thing first, right? Think about a scenario, right? What we need, first case, when we are setting up a service-based automation. First thing, we need a case, right? Obviously, that's the backbone of every service, right? Cases, right? Once you get a case, then everything happens after that. Cool. And then we need to auto-assign a case, right, to a queue. So what we need, queue. Users, we already have a users, right? So queues, you might think queues is like a collection of users, right? You can have 10 users. So it's like 5 users belonging to a queue, and a case put onto the queue. Anyone is available, on belonging to the queue can pick up the case and work on it. Cool. First thing first, create a queue. So we are on the setup page, right? When you log into your org, you will see something similar. If not, you can always go to this gear cog icon on the top right-hand corner and go to setup, not the service setup, normal setup, right? Please do not go to service setup. We're dealing with the normal setup here. Cool. Now we're gonna go to queue. Okay, so go to queues here, right? It's under user, so click on new, and let's say service queue, right? We can do the service queue, right? And so you can leave the email blank unless you wanted to email to a specific person. Otherwise, leave it blank. So send emails to members. You can tick that. Watch this. This is important. It's available object, so you're dealing with the case. So we move the case here, right? And so which user should be part of it? So I'm gonna use, for now, for the simplicity, I'm gonna use Wilson, and I'm gonna use test, right? I'm just gonna add 2 users just for the sake of it. Okay, save. Nice and easy, right? So queue is created. Now, what we need to have assignment rule, right? So when the case is lodged, move the case to this queue based on whatever condition, right? So we're gonna go look at just type assignment. We'll we have marketing, we have topics. So we are after service, right? So case assignment rule, just type under the box assign. It will bring you an option, different matching options to do with assignment. So case assignment rule, so we choose the case, right? So as you can see on the screen, it will automatically assign cases to users or queues based on criteria you define. You can create multiple rules, but only one rule can be active at a time. Cool. So we're gonna click on new, and we're gonna queue new case rule, right? Active, right? Don't forget to check the active box. Okay, now let's go back to the case again. Now we need to create an entry criteria, right? Under what scenario the case should be pushed into the queue or to the user, right? In this case, we are dealing with user. You can technically move the case to a specific user if you want. If you're a company where there's only one person who's working in the case, but it's a good practice to move to your queue, because tomorrow you might hire someone, right? And that person needs to look after the cases as well. So it's better to create a queue instead of assigning to a normal user or to individual user, right? So you can put into the queue and you can add user to the queue. So that makes the life much easier, right? You don't have to fiddle with the rules or anything, right? So that's why it's very handy to use the queue. Okay, cool. So go to new. And what we're going to do, so we're going to put this order 1, that's the first order, right? And then we're going to see, let's say case type, you can put whatever you want, right? So I'm going to say, just to make it very simple, right? When the case type equals to, we have an option here, mechanical or electrical, right? So these two, when the case type belongs to mechanical or electrical, Escalate puts the queue case to the queue, right? So nice and easy. Case type, there's a case type field on a case object. So it's a pick list, right? So if you when you create a case, right, and if you pick the type to either of mechanical or electrical, it will push the case to the queue. Nice and easy, right? Nothing complicated or fancy here. Okay, now pay attention here. As I mentioned to you before, you can assign this to a user. Fine. I mean, it's your choice. I mean, if you're just a one person working in a company, dealing with all the cases, right? It happens if you're working in a small firm. But imagine you're working in a big consulting firm, right, where 50 people assigned to a case. So it's always good to use the queue, right? And you can look at the queue name. So we got a 1 queue, okay? So that's email template if you wanted to, so I'm not going to pick up any, so just keep it nice and simple, right? Okay, so we got our case created, auto assignment case created, right? Now, so what happens is, when a customer logs a case, in this case, we're going to log a case, when the case gets created, right? And when the case type equals to mechanical, the case object will be pushed into the queue, right? Let's demonstrate that now. Okay, so to go to the case, right? Case object. So you can go to tic-tac-toe icon here, and you can type case, right? And let's open in a new window. It's always handy. Okay, now we're gonna create a new case. Okay, before we do that, look at the this service queue, right? This is a queue. There's no cases here, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a let's go to all cases, open cases. Let's create a new case, right? So we're gonna do contact. You can put David Miller, whatever you wanted to choose. Account, yeah, Iron Man, whatever. Type. So this is where I mentioned you need to choose mechanical, electrical. So let's choose mechanical here. Case, reason, performance, right? Whatever. Case origin, let's say form, right? Now watch. Okay, subject. What's this called? Faulty pipe. Faulty pipes or whatever, right? I'll just put whatever now. Faulty pipes. Okay, so see this checkbox here? Tick this one. Assign using active assignment rules. So when you do that, Now, watch here, okay? Go to case, right? And go to service queue. Voila, your case is there, right? Now, a person belonging to this queue, right, can pick up the case and work on it. Okay. Now, let's work on another scenario. Go to new, right? And go to the Mark Miller, right? And account name, let's use something, Captain America. I'm a Marvel fan, so you can see that most of my name, account name is like Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, whatever. Okay, so I'm going to use structure, right, which is not a part of the assignment object. If you remember, case type should be either electrical or mechanical, right? So case reason, breakdown, right, whatever. Case origin phone, just put breakdown. Just put test. Put whatever you want, right? So assign using active assignment rule. Okay, now watch. Go to cases and go to service queue. There's no case, right? Because it didn't meet the criteria. That's why you don't see the case here. But you can, if the requirement changes, right? Let's say someone says, look, I want all the case type structure to move to different queue. You can do that. You can create multiple queues. You can do that as well. It depends upon your business requirement. So this is one way you can automate your case, right? So that it's nice and easy to maintain, right? And you can look at the case at one place rather than looking at 50 different places, right? Figuring out, oh, what happened, where are my cases been, and kind of stuff. Sometimes if you don't create a case, if you don't assign a case assignment rule, then chances are your case just might be missed in a pile of cases, and then customer will get irritated, wondering, you know what, you guys don't care about my case, right? It's very high priority. I mean, it might be a high priority case, but if you don't have any case assignment rules, if you don't have any sort of automation, your case will be stuck in the queue and then, stuck in the pile of the cases. Then you won't have time to tend it, in a priority wise. Cool. All right. So this is what I wanted to talk about in terms of case assignment rules. Now, what happened, right? Let's say the case has been assigned to this queue. Nice and easy, fantastic. Now, I want to set up a rule when this case exceeds 2 days, right? If without being touched by any of the user, right? Then touched by any of the service agent, then it should get escalated to higher queue or whatever, right? So you can do that using case escalation rules. So case escalation is very handy for the high priority cases, like critical cases, where client would have signed up for the priority customer care, where they would expect the case to be resolved in 2 days or 3 business days, right? So if the client has signed up for a premium customer service, then you need to make sure that you have the case escalation in place. Otherwise, think about a scenario, right? You are a premium customer, right? And your case has been sitting in this queue for say 10 days because there are like thousands of cases, and the case agent actually don't know whether you are really a high priority customer, right? So that's why it's very important to mark, to activate the case escalation. So it's very simple to set up that. So we're gonna go back to our setup here, right? And what we're gonna do, we're going to type escalation. So under service, escalation rules, nice and easy, right? So this is the monitoring. If you're wondering what's this case escalation is about, this actually tells you the cases that are in the escalation process. Cool. Okay, so we're gonna create new rule name escalated cases, and please make sure to check on active. Excuse me. Okay, go here. Now you're gonna create a rule entry here. Now, okay, so sort out of one. Now, so we will see, let's say, type the same thing equals to mechanical, electrical, the same scenario we use that if you remember that we used for the auto assignment rule, the case of type mechanical and electrical should be assigned to a queue, right? So I want the same the type to be used for escalation. So any case which has a type mechanical, electrical, and if it exceeds a certain number of days, it should be escalator. Simple, right? Okay, so use business hour specified on this case, or when the case is created, how escalation times are set, right when the case is created, based on the last modified time, or okay, you can do the based on the last modified time if someone has modified something, or you can actually do when the case is created. So it's up to you, whichever way you wanted to do that, right? Okay, so and so or you can also set when the case status is still open. So you can do that. Okay, you know what? Let's do this case status instead of mechanical. Okay. Okay. Right. Let's say you have so your case status is still new. Oh, come on. Right. So if the case status is new after a certain number of days, then push it to escalator queue or escalator person. Right. So save. Okay. Now it's not done yet. Right. Now escalation action. What should do? Right. Now here age over 2 days. Right. So you can assign to a queue, as I said, or to a user, but in this case, I'm going to assign to a user. So you can always assign to a queue because at times you have a team of escalation agents, right, who looks after the high priority cases. So you can, it's always better to assign to a queue unless it goes up to the VP or vice president. So that's a different case. So notify case owner, right? And so you can save, you can notification template if you wanted to use it. I'm going to keep it nice and simple. Right, okay. All right, so you must enter a value, sorry. You can choose whatever you want. It's better to have a custom template created for it, but I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to stick to existing ones. So it's better to create a custom one specific to that, right? Cool. Okay, so escalate at 2 hours. Oh, sorry, it's not 2 days. Okay, so that's okay. Right, so it should be escalated at let me change it. After 48 hours, right? After 2 days, it should be escalated. So that's yeah. I mean, if you put 2, it will get escalated after 2 hours. So, which might be a requirement if it's a showstopper kind of bugs, right? But just to demonstrate you, I mean, it will be escalated after 2 days. Nice and easy, right? Nothing fancy about it. So this is how you set up an escalation process. It's very important, right? If you are a service-based company, I mean, think about it, right? Most of the companies these days, they give exceptional customer service, right? So the way to do that, because they have different automation process in place, the companies who don't even use Salesforce, they have their own internal process, right? So when you're using Salesforce, why not make use of the the tools and utilities which Salesforce offers you out of box, right? So it's fantastic. Cool. So this is great. Now, so there's one more thing I wanted to talk about today. Like, what happens is that when you create a case, right? When a customer create a case, it's always better to send out an automated response, right? Think about a scenario when you log a ticket, right, with the Vodafone or whatever, right? It's nice, right? At least you get an acknowledgement. Think about a scenario, you raise a ticket, you hear nothing from a company. I mean, you will wonder what the heck is wrong with this company, right? I mean, if I'm a customer, I would say, look, I don't want to deal with these people anymore. They don't even have a courtesy to send me an automated email, right? So, yeah, so it depends, right, how people think these days. So, right, so we have, you just type auto, our case auto response rules, right? So create new, I can say auto email, right? So we can do, okay, so go here and multiple under this rule, okay? You can create multiple if it's your choice, right? Okay, just put one. Let's say the case status as new. And you're going to say name, just put whatever you want, test, right? Test. So David dot Muller at, I don't know if there's an email or not, I'm just putting a email template, so you can use the default template, you know, just to get an email like thank you for your response, whatever, right? So okay, all right, okay. So yeah, you need to put a right email address. I'm not going to do that for now. So you need to put the right email address. So so that's a reply to, and then you have to put the reply to address. So right. So this is how you set up an automated auto response rules. And it's always good to have a custom email template, because you know you need to write a custom email template, you know, which is related to cases, right? You shouldn't be using a template which is related to an opportunity or leads, right? You know, thank you for your opportunity. We're looking forward to send you an item. Well, it doesn't make any sense, because I've raised the ticket to, because something is not working, right? Why would you send me an item which got nothing to do with what I've been talking about, right? So you need to make sure that you need to understand you know, what's your business requirement, and based on that you need to create a template. It's always good to have a custom template based on your business requirement. Please do not use the same template. It's not a good practice at all, right? So it's like you know, sending out, you know, the same email to 50 people. Sometimes people don't. I remember that back in the days I used to get an email which doesn't make sense to me. I used to wonder what the heck, right? So right, so you can do something like that, right? If it's just read about it. I mean, go to Trailhead. You know, I'm teaching on Trailhead, right, as you know. So please go and do a hands-on. I would highly encourage you to please do hands-on, understand the concept, think about it from a business point of view, right? Please just don't do point click meaninglessly. It doesn't make sense, right? Because you know, I mean I can write a you know, a script which can point click by itself, but I mean, do you want it to be a kind of person who will be replaced by a script in the future? No, right? So you need to understand the business requirement, what you're trying to do, right? So based on that, you know, understand it, work on it, practice more on Trailhead. You know, it's a great tool, right? Salesforce is a great tool. Yeah, it's always good to understand the business point of view, right? That's pretty much what I wanted to talk about it today. So this is very important from your certification point of view. Please do hands-on, you know, as I've always mentioned, right? And please don't blame me. And then you know, if you didn't pass, because you know, I've been telling you many times, do hands-on, practice and Trailhead, right? It's very important, right? You need to take care of your own certification journey. I'm just here to help you, right? But if you don't want to, you need to help yourself first, right? Because then only someone else can help you. You need to take initiative. You need to be proactive. You know, you need to make an effort, right? So that's, you know. All right, cool. So that's pretty much what I wanted to talk today. Well, I hope you got some value out of today's session. So thank you very much. Greetings and adios from New Zealand. Take care. Bye-bye.